We got the loudest in the room, Stephen A. Smith.
You've educated my listeners here, Chams Sharania, on how there was a 2-week exclusive negotiating window that the Knicks had at their disposal this summer in order to get Giannis. One would believe that that happened because that's the one place Giannis wanted to go. They weren't able to get a deal done. So now that the Milwaukee Bucks is listening, does that mean that Giannis has left it wide open to going pretty much anywhere, to just a few teams? Or is it really the Knicks that's in the leadership position if they could somehow, some way get other teams involved? And
We're gonna talk about the Knicks angle. We're gonna talk about the Knicks angle. That's what I'm saying. Like, Giannis got to be okay with being a bad guy, bro. You got to be okay with being a bad guy.
manufacture a deal that the Milwaukee Bucks can stomach.
So there's two sides of this,
fans
Stephen A. The
actually
one
born
side of
cuz.
it is the
We gonna
Knicks
check it
will
out.
definitely be among the interested teams here, Stephen A. So that should make your heart happy. But the other thing that I have for you that won't make your heart happy is if a trade were to happen, he has a level of control over this, right? Because next season is essentially an expiring year on his contract. He's going to be extension eligible. No team is giving up in a trade the types of players and assets that it'll take for a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo without knowing if this guy wants to be with you long term or where he stands on you long term. And so that's where in the offseason it was so beneficial to the Knicks. They knew he wanted to be there. It was made abundantly clear to every party involved. But now he has this level of control in the list of teams. If the Bucks were to try to move him or get seriously engaged with the team, that list goes well beyond the Knicks. His preferred destinations
Hell
list,
yeah.
whether you
But no, it don't got to go well beyond the Knicks. It got to include the Knicks. But with that, like I said, in order for the Bucks to have a successful trade go down, they're going to need 3 to 4 teams to be a part of this trade. So the primary teams could be the Milwaukee Bucks and the New York Knicks. And then you add in the Wizards. You add in Phoenix. You add in Portland. You add in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? You add in the Nets. You know what I'm saying? You add in the Grizzlies. You want to be, we could make this a blockbuster trade by adding the Grizzlies. And I'm not talking John Moran. I'm talking Jaren Jackson. We can make this a blockbuster now. We can make this a blockbuster now. We can make this a blockbuster with the Knicks, the Bucks, and the Grizzlies. Karl Anthony Towns, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Memphis Grizzlies with Jaren Jackson. We can make this a blockbuster.
want to say, it could be 3, it could be 5, but it's more than 1, and it's well beyond the Knicks. And so that is something that is different than the
Golden
offseason.
State.
That is different than what the Milwaukee Bucks are having now.
But Golden State's not going to be involved if they're not getting Giannis, though. That's what I believe.
So if you're the Bucks,
Now if Golden State can get Jaren Jackson, ooh, I just thought about that. You got Milwaukee, New York Knicks, and Golden State. Jaren Jackson, Golden State and the Grizzlies. You get Jaren Jackson to go to Golden State. Golden State gets Draymond and whatever else. You get Karl Anthony Towns to go to Milwaukee. The New York Knicks get Giannis. Or Karl Anthony Towns can go to Golden State and Jaren Jackson could go to Milwaukee. Right? We all know Giannis going to the Knicks, right? In this scenario. The draft picks from the Grizzlies got to go. The first round draft picks got to go to Milwaukee. The New York Knicks got to give up some first round draft picks to Milwaukee. But I think Golden State, Milwaukee, New York Knicks, and Grizzlies could all make a big ass blockbuster trade. The one team in this equation that's okay with being bad after this transaction are the Milwaukee Bucks and the Grizzlies. They're okay with being bad after this transaction. They're okay with getting the low end of the stick. Golden State could probably give up some first round draft picks to Milwaukee. I mean, not Milwaukee, but the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies could probably get another piece from the Knicks, another piece from Milwaukee. I like that 4-team trade right there. We're going to need to have 4 teams in the mix.
Right now, you have a player in Giannis who might have a preferred destinations list of could be 2 teams, 3 teams, 4 teams, 5 teams. In the offseason, how does it get when he's essentially an expiring contract?
Damn. All right, so we've heard from the loudest in the room, Stephen A. Smith. Let's take a look at some chatter on the articles and on the Bleachers reports. All right, so Doric Sam, this came out today actually. New Warriors rumors on Giannis bidding war and Jimmy Butler. Jonathan Kuminga's trade block status. If the Milwaukee Bucks choose to move star forward Giannis Antetokounmpo at the February 5th trade deadline, many view the Golden State Warriors as the frontrunners to land the 2-time NBA MVP. ESPN's Anthony Slater reported Thursday the quicker Milwaukee acts, league executives believe the better chance Golden State has to win the bidding war. He noted the team's first-round picks in 28, 30, and 32 could be on the table. Warriors forward Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga were named as players who could. What? Okay, well, let me just finish reading this. ESPN's Anthony Slater reported Thursday the quicker Milwaukee acts, league executives believe the better chance Golden State has to win the bidding war. He noted the team's first-round picks in 28, 30, and 32 could be on the table. Warriors forwards Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga are named as players who could potentially be involved in a trade to land Antetokounmpo, though it was noted that the team would prefer to keep Butler in the fold. Butler suffered a season-ending torn ACL earlier this month, which altered Golden State's plans for the 26th trade deadline. Slater reported that the Warriors have voiced to Butler a plan to keep him despite the ACL tear, believing he will rehab and boost them upon his return at some point next season. While team sources said they are not actively shopping this contract, it was also noted that everything is on the table in an Antetokounmpo conversation, and Butler is clear, and Butler is the clear salary match. While the Bucks will be fielding trade interest from multiple teams with more established stars like the New York Knicks or Miami Heat, league sources told Slater that they've shown an interest in Kuminga dating to the summer, and the 23-year-old would be viewed as an upside swing on a controllable contract as part of the return package. Golden State has been exploring the trade market for Kuminga throughout this season, but league sources told Slater it is less likely he is moved in the wake of the Butler injury. God damn, Jonathan. Damn, Kuminga. With more playing time available and a $24.3 million player option this summer, Kuminga's performance over the rest of the season could help boost his value and get both sides what they ultimately desire. If the Warriors choose to hold on to both Butler and Kuminga, it would obviously diminish their chances to land Antetokounmpo. However, Slater reported that a deal involving Draymond Green and several other rotation players is also plausible. There you go. Draymond, you've been the loudest man in the room way too long, Brody. At one point in time, you know niggas gonna get tired of that shit, bro. You already know it. If you don't know it, bro, you better know it. Said that the third-year guard, Brandon Podziemski, could also help nudge the needle. Bro, sorry. Golden State knows the acquisition of Antetokounmpo would cement the team as a title contender for years to come, but it remains to be seen what is willing to give up to complete the deal for him. Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what else we got. All right, we got another article by Adam Wells. It says new Giannis rumors reveal Bucks stars' desire to play with Anthony Edwards among T-Wolves buzz. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. They said new Giannis rumors reveal Bucks stars' desire to play with Anthony Edwards. Now, Anthony Edwards in Minnesota, Anthony Edwards and Giannis, that's a title. That's a title ring waiting to be played for. Waiting for them to capture. I like Giannis and Ant-Man. I like that matchup. All right, so Giannis and Ant-Man. Let's see, how do you get Giannis to Minnesota? First of all, he got to want to go to Minnesota. Second of all, it sounds like beyond wanting to go to Minnesota, he wants to play with Ant-Man because he know Ant-Man is one of them ones. So let's see. So you can get Milwaukee. See, Milwaukee the thing about having a third or fourth team is Milwaukee needs draft picks. If they're going to turn this thing around sooner than later, they need draft picks. So I can say Minnesota, Milwaukee, and either the Wizards. The Wizards could eat an expiring contract. Portland, Charlotte. We got to send a star to Charlotte so that Milwaukee can get. Okay. Okay, so Giannis to Minnesota. Who's the forward for Minnesota? Julius Randle. Giannis to Minnesota. Giannis to Minnesota. Giannis to Minnesota. Rudy Gobert to Milwaukee. Julius Randle, he can go to Portland. He can go to Phoenix. He can go to the Grizzlies. He can go to the Wizards. But whatever team he goes to, we need to get them their draft picks. He needs to go to a sorry team, a team that just want to offload a contract, and we need to get their picks. So then you have Anthony Edwards, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nas Reed, Mike Conley, got Bones Highland. But regardless, Jaden McDaniels, defense. I like it. Anthony Edwards, Giannis, DiVincenzo, I like him. McDaniels, Dillingham's a point guard, okay. Nas Reed, Bones Highland, Mike Conley, I like this squad right here. We could work with this. We could work with that. We can work with that. You heard it here first. The trade to Minnesota for Giannis will be Giannis to Minnesota, Rudy Gobert to Milwaukee, and Julius Randle to a sorry team and draft picks. Minnesota gonna have to give up draft picks too. It is what it is. You trying to get a championship and keep Anthony Edwards in play? It is what it is. Let's get to this article. So as the Milwaukee Bucks go through their trade options for Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time NBA MVP is reportedly very intrigued about the possibility of playing for Minnesota Timberwolves, per insider Mark Stein and Jake Fisher. The idea of playing alongside Anthony Edwards holds strong appeal for Antetokounmpo, and there have been notable back-channel discussions in recent months that make the Timberwolves a viable trade destination. The report also notes that rival clubs have frequently mentioned the Timberwolves and Miami Heat as the two teams to watch in the Antetokounmpo sweepstakes. ESPN's Chams Sharania reported on Wednesday that the Bucks were starting to entertain trade offers for Antetokounmpo, who is ready for a new home, amid the franchise's ongoing struggles this season. With Sharania's report are a list of teams considered the most serious suitors, including the Timberwolves, Heat, Golden State Warriors, and New York Knicks. Minnesota's lack of draft capital and high upside young players would almost certainly require any potential deal with the Bucks to have at least one on their team. Well, at least one other team. The only tradable first-round pick the Timberwolves have right now is a swap in 2028. One team that has been cited as potentially helpful to facilitate an Antetokounmpo trade is the Portland Trailblazers. But it's considered more likely they would be involved in a deal with the Knicks. Portland would certainly hold a lot of appeal for the Bucks because the Blazers hold swap rights on their picks in 28 and 30 stemming from the Dame Lillard trade. If the Blazers are looking at a scenario where the Bucks are already bottoming out with Antetokounmpo, those swap rights become even more valuable if the 9-time All-Star is no longer playing for Milwaukee. It's fun fantasy basketball to think that Edwards and Antetokounmpo on the same team, but looking at things practically, it's incredibly difficult to see how the Timberwolves can make an offer that would appeal to the Bucks given what some of the other expected suitors can sell them on. Damn. If he want to go to the Minnesota Timberwolves, he's going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And there's a way to make it happen. All you need is a third or fourth team to be a part of that trade. All right. Now, of course, with anyone being talked about a trade, when you talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo going to the Knicks, of course, this guy right here got to be nervous, got to be shitting his pants because he loved New York. He loved New York. But bringing this guy to New York means that you're gone. And I believe they can actually play together on the same team and play very well. Because Karl Anthony Towns could just be just what the center was, the Brooks brothers. Brook Lopez. He could be Brook Lopez to Giannis. What Brook Lopez was to Giannis in Milwaukee, Karl Anthony Towns could be that to Giannis in New York. But there are no other trade assets that'll be appealing enough to be traded beyond you, buddy. Unless y'all trade away y'all whole bench and all y'all role players, which I don't see that happening. So, new Karl Anthony Towns rumors on Knicks riff over Giannis trade talks. So it seems like Karl Anthony Towns is bitching. And I do feel him though. You know what I'm saying? When you know that your name is being floated out there for a trade, when it has already been floated out there for a trade, I understand, it's not going to leave the best taste in your mouth. So, there may be, some growing issues from that, animosity from that. I can't blame him. So Doric Sam says, New York Knicks star big man Karl Anthony Towns reportedly hasn't been happy with the franchise since his involvement in trade rumors last offseason. According to the Athletic's Sam Amick, the Knicks trade discussions with the Milwaukee Bucks regarding Towns and star forward Giannis Antetokounmpo led to hard feelings for Towns that team sources say remain to this day. The Knicks acquired Towns from the Minnesota Timberwolves prior to last season, so this isn't his first time on the market. He remains the subject of trade rumors ahead of the February 5th trade deadline, but he downplayed his feelings about the ongoing speculation. Just like this is what he said. He said, I feel like I've been in trade rumors a lot for a lot of times. For a year, damn near. That don't matter to me, Towns said, while speaking to reporters before Wednesday's 119-92 win over the Toronto Raptors, per Steph Bondy of the New York Post. I don't look at social media or none of that stuff. I focus on the job at hand and which is trying to get wins every single night. As long as I do that, I do my job, I go home happy and feel accomplished. I'm not worried about what anybody got to say or people write or anything like that. Towns had 8 points, 22 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block against the Raptors. It was his 4th straight game scoring under 20 points, and he's averaged just 16 points for the entire month of January. So is Karl Anthony Towns showing that he don't need to be a scorer for y'all to win, and he could be a big man and get rebounds and blocks and assists? Is that his reason for scoring under 20 points for the 4th time? He probably trying to prove himself. You never know. Despite all the tumult, Towns made it clear that he's focused on helping the Knicks chase an NBA championship this season. New York, 29-18, will be riding a 4-game win streak into Friday's matchup against the Portland Trail Blazers, who are 23-25. We only worry about one thing, that's winning. So I got no reason to go into depth on anything else, Towns says. It's just at the end of the day, the conversation revolves around one thing and one thing only. Every single day, 24 hours a day, it's winning. How can we win? How can I help this team win? The sacrifices I've got to continue to make every single night for us to be the best version of ourselves. I've been willing to do that every single night, regardless of what anyone got to talk about. All right. Shout out Karl Anthony Towns for keeping the main thing. But with that being said, we'll see what this trade deadline got for us. Usually the NBA is comical during the trade deadline. You're gonna see some people traded that you probably didn't know. So it's crazy.
Let's just get to the point.
All right, let's get to it. All right, man, with that being said, man, you know who it is. It's that man, our boo, it's brother man. And today we went over Giannis Antetokounmpo the Milwaukee Bucks have finally openly said that they're willing to trade Giannis Antetokounmpo to any prospective teams that present the best value. Like I said before, I believe the best value would be to add a 3rd or 4th team into the trade mix so that we can make this a bigger blockbuster trade, and so that Milwaukee can get back some future first-round draft picks from one of the sorry 3 or 4 teams. We talked about how Giannis can get to Minnesota. It's very doable. You just need a 3rd team to go along with it. We talked about how Giannis can get to, we actually talked about how Jaren Jackson can get to Golden State in a 3 or 4 team deal where Giannis goes to the Knicks and Karl Anthony Towns goes to the Bucks, and the Grizzlies to take expiring contracts. You know what I'm saying? Might take some conditional 1st round picks as well. Some 2nd round picks. Get some cash value, Milwaukee. Not Milwaukee, but Grizzlies. Y'all need to regroup too. So, we talked about several things, man, but once again, man, if you're a sports fan, if you're a fan of the NBA, you're a fan of the trade deadline rumors, all the conspiracies and all the storylines that go along with it, man, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, let us know what you feel about this, and where do you think Giannis should be traded to? Give me the best team he should be traded to as far as winning the championship. Give me the other team he should be traded to as far as just lifestyle money, whatever it is. Hey, man, it's that man Abu. Like, comment, subscribe, we go.
Let's just get to the point.
Let's get to it. Let's